sick like your mom.
Yeah.
Boom. Like your mom. Like Josh's mom.
I don't know what I come in so hyped and it disappeared. I just finished a Red Bull because I gotta be some sort of hyped for Murder Moose.
Murder Moose. We are Murder Moose, part of the Slash and Cast podcast network.
It's in the game.
Oh,
There you go.
I even got
Look
it
at
to
that.
work.
I was
Hell
gonna say
yeah.
it even worked the first time, Josh. I'm very impressed with you.
Sup, friendos?
Oh, hi.
We
Oh, hi.
are back. We are back. We are back. For
Back in
episode-
black. Oh, wait. Kin's not wearing black. Oh, wait.
I mean,
but the show is
nope.
back in black.
That's right.
I think I'm like 90% of my clothes are black t-shirts.
I haven't switched over the other scenes, though. So if I do, we go back in time. Look. Oh, we're back in time.
Oh, no.
Oh. So I haven't switched it over yet.
How could you, Josh?
I haven't had
How
time.
could this happen to me?
How could this happen?
It was an
to
exciting
Josh?
day yesterday talking with the Calgary Horror Con at
Tell
my
us
house.
about it. I want to hear about it.
It's a lot of strategy stuff behind the scenes and things that I can't actually talk about, which is cool that I'm a part of that type of stuff. And I'm really excited for this year because I've been like, there and helping out where I can every year. And it's becoming more and more and more. And this next year is going to be fucking, that's what you say every time. It's going to be bigger, better. But I feel like this time with getting the right people on board and having it be more organized beforehand, I'm hoping it can alleviate a lot of the stress points that inevitably come up, and we have it be a very awesome one. That's it. It's going to be great.
Hell
There's some
yeah.
fucking cool celebrities coming and lots of opportunities for fun. Dude, guys, you guys got to come
What time
up.
of the
You
year?
guys
Yeah,
gotta
that's
come
what I was
up.
about to ask you. What time of the year is it again? that it
Father's Day
happens?
weekend again.
Okay, that helps me absolutely none. What time of
It's March.
It's like in
June?
Oh, yeah, it's June. Is it
June?
June?
June or July, I thought.
June.
Something
I
like
think
that.
Father's
Yeah.
Day is in June.
End of June.
Okay.
I don't know what month. If you would have asked me what month Father's Day was before we started talking to us, I would not have been able to tell you.
June.
I meant prior to this conversation, Josh.
Rod, are we
Well-
going?
I would like to.
Okay, let's plan for sure to go. I'm not going anywhere until February.
This would be fantastic.
Yeah.
It would be a Canada adventure.
Rod, we're going to Canada.
Blame Canada. Blame Canada.
And I think honestly, like,
do.
wait, when is it? I don't know. Stampede is not too long after that. It's like HorrorCon, and then Stampede starts like a week or something after. So the biggest outdoor show on Earth, and a
Are they
whole
gonna
bunch
be-
of cowboys.
Are they going to be shooting Last of Us season 2 in your neck of the woods again when that's happening?
No, they're doing season 2 in BC, in Vancouver and stuff.
Why? That's
Because they're on
stupid.
the journey out from where they were, so it makes sense that they'd want more mountainous
I know, but
backgrounds.
they start a lot of it like on the same spot as they did like
I don't
the-
know.
the brother and all
Maybe
that
BC was
shenanigans.
like, you know what? We'll give you more tax breaks if you come and shoot it here. And Alberta's like, damn, we can't match that. Who knows?
You can match anything if you try hard enough, and you give it your heart, and give it your soul,
That's right.
and give it your murder moose.
There's my murder moose, and Rod still won't give it to me. That it's a fucking murder moose.
I'll give you it to the balls, Josh. I'll give you all the way to the balls. All the way to the balls. All the shaft, the balls, my
in
taint
the
if you want it.
game.
You could have that too.
I don't even know what's going on. How was your
I'm-
fucking week, guys?
It was hectic, and then I I raged at Baldur's Gate 3 and quit live on stream, so that was fun.
What happened that was
All the stuff that like I'm done the third act of 3, and I was dying like repeatedly for hours on end, and I got very frustrated, and I said, "Fuck this," and I gave it up and deleted it and live on stream. And then I
Did you
played
delete the entire file?
I deleted the game from my thing and then promptly installed it the next day back again in my off time. 150 gigs of just
Oh no.
me being a fucking maniac. I was just like, it was making me the kind of streamers I don't like because I feel like a cranky asshole. And I'm like, and everyone could sit here, and then I yell at my community. I was yelling at my mods for trying to help me. So I was so frustrated. But yeah, so I did that. And then I went and watched The Creator yesterday, and there were like 5 people in the theater, and I'm like, so this is what happens when a movie gets like no like press or whatever,
So-
and like no one that's
It's really interesting, that movie in particular, because someone or my old guitar player was like, "Oh, are you gonna go and see The Creator?" And said it was attached somehow to Star Wars. So I thought it was a Star Wars movie, and I was like, if it's a Star Wars movie, fuck that. I don't want to see that shit. I'm done with Star Wars. Fuck it. And this will be the first one that I go out of my way not to see. But it's not. It's directed by the director of Rogue One, who got his start. And I was following him like religiously, like I do indie directors. When he did Monsters, because he went out by himself with just like 2 actors and barely a script, and was just like, yeah, do whatever you kind of want. And he's in the special effects world, so he's like, yeah, you know what, I think I'm gonna add some monsters in the background here and add this. He did the same thing with this movie, but with a $90 million budget, but the same mentality and the same like small indie like approach. Now knowing that, fuck, I can't wait to see this. It looks so well done for knowing that.
Denzel's kid killing it again, and the movie was very, very, very good. Teared up at the end, and the lesson that you learned watching this movie is that people suck mostly.
Of course. But it's also, I think, not going in not knowing anything. I think it's like another warning for what AI could potentially be doing and stuff.
Oh,
so
Do you feel that it was reminiscent of was it called AI, the movie with Haley Joel Osment and whatever?
yeah,
that was AI,
yeah.
Do you feel that it was like too in hand with that?
I've never seen that movie. I've never seen the.
I'll let you
Oh,
know.
you gotta
that movie
watch
was
it.
fantastic.
Gigolo Joe. What are you? I love that movie.
Yeah,
it's very
really
much
fantastic.
like I heard someone comparing it to Last of Us because of the journey of a guy with a little kid, and then other things. But like, I think it was really, really well done, and I fucking feel like the movie's going to make no money because like I have seen nothing. The only like promotion stuff I saw for it was like before other movies. Like I didn't see TV spots, I didn't see YouTube trailers, any of that.
I've
and
seen
I'm
a
like-
lot, but that's just, I think all the algorithms know that I'm just a weirdo that goes to tons and tons of movies. So
I don't know, but it was really good, and I'm like, this movie is not going to get enough credit, and I think it was probably one of the best movies I've seen all year. Like that's how good it was, and it
That's
sucks
awesome.
like going
I'm
going at a 9:50 on a Sunday morning, and there's only 5 people in the theater or 6
I mean, to
people.
be fair, almost every movie I've gone to in the last like few months, there's been hardly anybody at them.
Yeah,
I go at weird times, but if you go, for me, what I've noticed is the right after dinner time movies are getting more busy, like more like, normally busy, not like extremely busy or anything. But I watched this comedy, which you can't say very often anymore. Like comedies, because of the, I don't know, the cancel culture and all the other things that people like to do. Comedy is not really a thing you see an abundance of. I watched that movie Bottoms. It was fucking funny, dude. It was well done.
That's about the two girls, like high school girls who are about to go to college, right? They're like lesbians and everything like that. That was like all I needed to know about that movie is Alamo was putting it on like it's Alamo Presents. So they were like when they put their stamp of like approval on a movie, it's usually really, really, really good. Like they did that, I think, back in the day for Swiss Army Man, which, again, I've said down here many times, one of my favorite movies ever. If it wasn't for the last like 5 minutes of that movie, but like, yeah, it's one of those things where Alamo putting their seal of approval is like that means this is going to be a good little film.
But then I saw what's her name, Elizabeth Banks was one of the producers, I think, on it. So
yeah,
I think she's the reason why a lot of movies or a lot of really funny movies are actually still getting produced. So I love that she's like got her hands in a lot of gems right now. Like Cocaine Bear was just fantastic, and I'm so happy that she is in a position to, have her hands on any movie pretty much. She's awesome.
Pretty talented, man. I mean, Pitch Perfect 2 was a really great movie for like an intro. I heard that her Charlie's Angels wasn't great, but like mostly because no one really wanted it. But
it was. I don't know. It's not. It wasn't well timed. It felt like it was being forced down everyone's throats. Yeah. And it's like I don't even think. I don't know. Like there's just some things that's just like it was done and it was done really well, and no one is like, you know what I really want to see. Like no one was. Yeah. So. Yeah. Whatever. You can be bent out of shape about whatever you want, but no one was screaming at the rooftops for that one.
Don't break your penis. Don't break your penis, Josh. It's dangerous.
What have you heard?
Why are we breaking Josh's penis?
Because you said bent out of shape, and so then I went to like breaking your penis because that's the definition of bent out of shape.
Try your hardest. I know you brought up Natty Knox. I hadn't heard anything about it other than when Rod brought it up a couple weeks ago. I'm interested. It has a good enough cast. It doesn't look great, but I'm interested.
What are we talking about?
What is that?
Natty Knox? Didn't you bring that up, Rod? Okay, well, there's a movie called Natty Knox, and it has Robert Englund, Daniel Harris, and Bill Moseley. So
Bill Nye the Science Guy. Dude, I'm so mad. My friend that does all the horror stuff and has the horror podcast, he got like I've been trying to see. Sorry, I totally just jumped in and fucked your entire discussion. There was a convention in town that like I guess just kind of like popped up that I forgot was happening, and he got to go, and I wanted to go, but I didn't get to because I was busy. And Bill Moseley actually was there for once, didn't back the fuck out. He got his Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 poster signed by him and someone else. And I was like, motherfucker, every time I try to see Bill Moseley at a con, they're slammed, and he always cancels. And this time it was so small that, like, nobody was fucking there, but Bill, like, there were more people there to sign things than there were people there. And I was like, fuck, now he'll never come back.
Yeah, I want Bill Moseley's Chop Top in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, like ASAP. And
you've seen my Texas Chainsaw Massacre toy, right? The huge one over there. I got like one of those, whatever.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Did I hear a beeping, or am I losing my goddamn mind? I think I'm losing my goddamn mind.
I think you're losing your mind because I did not hear a beeping.
Yeah, maybe I'm losing that.
Where did you get that?
It's so fucking heavy. His chainsaw just fell.
Aww.
What's that? What's hanging around his neck?
What?
What's hanging around his neck?
I want one of those.
Like it's a pick, for the crow. The crow pick necklace.
Oh, you can't do that to our boy.
I don't know why he's wearing that. That's just
poor.
That's funny.
I've got to watch the crow at some point.
Yes, you do. Although I mean, the remake's coming out here pretty soon, so
Do we want to watch the remake?
no.
I didn't
That's
think
like-
so.
I'm. Although, what do you call him? Skarsgård is playing the Crow, so
Oh, well, then I'll watch it.
yeah.
Dude could film a movie of himself shitting on paper, and I would watch it.
I love that meme, or well, I guess it's kind of a meme. It's just like a sequence of pictures of him and what's his name, the funny guy that was in it. Why?
Justin Long?
What?
Justin Long?
Huh? No.
In Barbarian?
I'm talking about in It. He was like
Oh,
standing.
you mean Bill Hader?
Bill Hader's like
Bale
standing.
Hader.
Bill Hader's standing right next to him, and he's like asking him like, "Oh, so what like special effects did they use to make your eyes like go separated?" And he's like, "What, like this?" And he's just like, and then he runs away because he's so creeped out.
You mean Barry? I need to watch the fifth season of the last season of Barry. I really do.
Is that
but
the
I-
last season? Like,
Yeah,
it was
that was
so
the last-
dark that I
I
was
don't know
like,
anything
I don't want
about
to go there.
Barry.
Oh, it's so
What
fucking
is
good.
it?
Barry is about a ex-army guy who becomes a hitman, and then he gets into Hollywood, and very bad things happen with Henry
Oh, it
Winkler.
just
and
becomes
yeah,
one of the best produced shows.
But-
It's an HBO show too, so you know it's already going to be good. But Bill Hader wrote, directed, was the main
Yeah.
star, and he had this like really clear vision, kind of like what they did with Breaking Bad, what he wanted to do with this character, and like the comedy hits so hard, but it takes a back seat in the later seasons, and it does such a good job of becoming this crazy drama that you're just like, holy fuck, it's so
yeah.
deep and so well fucking done. It was so crazy that Rod and I both were like, I gotta put a pause on this because it got too darky real, and
Oh,
Which is why-
really?
I need
Which
to.
is why I haven't watched the last season yet, because I'm like,
That
Yeah.
it's gonna make-
happened to me with Shameless and like a few other shows.
yeah.
Like it just got too real too fast, and I was like, oh, I can't. But I still watch it. I just have to do it in spurts.
It's one of those
Dark-
shows that visually and it makes you feel that like tension and makes you feel that anxiety really too well. So it was like creating an anxiety feeling in my life when I didn't want to feel it. So
I had to stop watching The Bear because of that.
that's
Because
yeah.
I was like,
Same.
this show is so fucking good, but like it
It's
made
too much.
me
Yeah.
like lose my shit.
That's what was that show on Netflix where I watched like one episode with the guy from Walking Dead and like the road rage incident and Stephen Young or whatever his name is.
Oh,
And,
Beef.
Yeah, Beef. I was like one episode of that. I'm like, nope, never again. Not watching that again.
I haven't
Yeah.
finished
That shit.
that.
Also, I always say before we talk about the movie, I watched the first episodes, 3 episodes of Gen V, and it was fucking really good. And I'm talking about dark TV shows, and that show is just like, God, Seth Rogen and all the stuff they're doing with that, and there is a scene where a character shrinks down and is jerking off a cock that is like because she's shrunk down. It's like this. And she's like jerking off and stomping on his
Hell
balls.
yes. Oh, what is it? BME Pain Olympics? Is that where we're at? Are we bringing
no,
it
it's-
back?
No, she's like this big. She's tiny. She shrinks herself down so like her stomping on the balls isn't like a big deal. Like the guy wants her doing it, but it's weird watching a little girl, like a little character like hanging off a giant dog.
Did
But-
you?
So if you like The Boys, check it out. It's really good. I like it.
I only watched like 2 episodes of The Boys and haven't gone any further. But
You just need to give it another episode, and I think you'll be hooked on a feeling.
You just need to get to the deep when he fucks a dolphin, and then you're good. Which is later on in the first
do you
season.
know? Do you remember Neil Blomkamp, the
Yep.
director of District 9?
Yep.
I didn't know. I threw on Gran Turismo last night for some reason. Really fucking well done movie, by the way. But I didn't know that he directed that movie. I'm like, what?
I thought that was a Clint Eastwood movie.
Gran Turismo, the like PlayStation.
Oh no! Oh yeah, I tell you.
That's
I was thinking
Gran
of
Torino.
Yeah.
Gran Turismo, the like
Yeah.
PlayStation meets movie, whatever. I'm like, this is based
Yeah.
on a true
Well,
story.
dude,
What the
after-
fuck? This is crazy.
After that man is like, he's like M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong Part 2, man. Like he comes out of the gates with fucking District 9, and then
Elysium was good. Or was it Elysium, the movie? Yeah. The one with
Elysium
Matt Damon?
was
Matt Damon.
okay.
I
And
liked it, man.
Chappie was
Chappie was
garbage.
fucking awesome. Chappie was
So-
awesome. Come on.
You say what you want to say, man. The meth heads that are
Rewatch it.
Dude, I can't, because those two are such horrible human beings that I'm like, nah, man, I can't do it. And like I got halfway through and I was like, nah, I'm good.
What? I've rewatched that and loved it again.
Nope. I made it halfway through and was like, nope, this ain't for me. This is not for me.
Yeah, he did his own like online like horror sci-fi universe thing that it wasn't very successful, but it created a lot of really creative pieces of art. But to see him now just kind of, directing a random movie like Gran Turismo, I'm like, well,
Dude,
he fucking killed it.
Like,
it's really well done, but it doesn't seem, it seems very left field for him.
you know what? He's like Rob Zombie, where he does this really cool visual style and knows that camera, but like when he's writing it, I'm just like, yeah, you've lost me, man, because his writing is where it falls apart. Like visually, his stuff is stunning. It's just like Elysium's story was garbage, and then Chappie was just
He
like,
loves mechy, sci-fi shit. So the way he visually showed the shit coming from like, oh, they're sim drivers, and he can feel it, and then he did that in the real life. He's like, oh, I'm feeling the car and all the different pieces. He did the like mechy thing, and I was like, oh, okay, fuck, that's totally Neil Blomkamp.
He was trying for years to do the Halloween 2018 reboot to Alien, where he was going to cut off Alien 3 and after, so it was going to be a direct sequel to Aliens with what do you call him?
And Sigourney Weaver was on board.
Yeah.
Like super on board because she was in Elysium.
Yeah.
And loved working with him and was like, if anyone's going to do a new Alien movie, I want it to be him. So like those were her words exclusively. So fuck. He's doing something right.
I don't like his writing. His directing is great. It's just his writing is where he loses me. So. Okay. Anything else before we dive into No One Will Save You?
I'm diving deep into Critical Role. So
are you diving deep into Critical Psycho Garman, Ken?
No, I'm not.
Why not?
You should. You should, Ken.
He's not even our mascot
Maybe
anymore.
I will. Maybe I will.
You won't. It's okay, but we still love you.
Yeah, you'll fucking love it. You know you will. That's what you're scared of. She's like, fuck, I'll have to watch this every day after because I'll just love it so much.
For the rest of my life.
Yep. You'll watch it 8 million times. Okay.
This is true.
We're going to talk today about the 2023 Hulu horror movie, No One Will Save You. And it reads as follows for a synopsis. An exiled, anxiety-ridden homebody must battle an alien who's found its way into her home. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, before we say anything else about this film, I want to say this is going to be all spoilers if you're new around these parts or whatnot, because this movie is kind of fucking hard to talk about like otherwise. But
I got to say, first and foremost, because the whole reason I wanted to do this one was because the trailer was very much forced down my throat. But the person who ever put together that trailer, who edited the trailer, is a fucking artist, because they did things with that trailer that I wish were done with this movie. Like they drew out parts and made it feel like there was going to be a lot of anticipation and like scary moments before the reveal of what, we do know it's an alien movie because of the poster and stuff, but they didn't spend any time in the movie until they revealed the look and the copy and paste 3D animation of an alien that they bought off of Turbo Squid. and just put it in the movie 17 times. This one, the trailer was better than the movie, but I ended up still enjoying it for a lot of different reasons, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
All I knew going into this was it was a home invasion alien movie, which it really is. Ken, is there anything you want to say before we go full on spoilers? Because we're going that soon here, but
My biggest point for this is going to be discussing the title at some point, so I will wait until we go full-blown spoilers for that.
okay, cool. Okay, I would say go watch this if you like Alien. Also, I think this is very accessible horror. We talk about accessible horror all the time around here. I think this movie is, if as long as you got a head on your shoulders, I think even kids could watch this movie pretty easily. It's rated PG-13, but like, I think that's mostly to do with the like intense nature of it. This movie's less violent than like Gremlins, from the 80s, So I think this movie is a very good entry point. Yeah, it's very good. It reminded me a lot of like Signs in a lot of ways, but like without the stupid ending. But yeah, I think this is I'll say I liked it a lot, but like go watch it if you're into horror or you want to show horror to someone that you're like it's almost like what I kind of wish Cobweb had done, where it had stayed like at the PG-13 level the whole movie, or like Boogeyman, where it's like it never got to that point because it doesn't need to, right? And like this film feels like it stayed in a zone where it needed to. I think the ending is fucked up and weird, and we'll talk about that here in a second, but like I like it, and I think that like using aliens in a unique way, and also just the storytelling in this movie is really good. There's like 2 words said the whole movie, and they're both like kind of like under their breath, like murmurs, kind of like. But I think that this is. I was listening to a review of it beforehand without spoilers, and he was talking about how the ending was throwing people off, and a lot of people are either don't like this movie or like this movie because of the ending. I don't think that the ending has that powerful of effect on the rest of it, but I will want to talk about that in a second here when we spoil. So I would say go see it if you like horror, aliens, or whatever. And I know
The poster's dope too.
Yeah. You know what it reminds me of, Josh? The movie we did pretty early on in this podcast, The Dark and the Wicked, where it's got the house, but
that one, yes.
The poster,
there's a
not
house,
not the movie.
But no, even that, like, because the movie has more of a witchy, like very metal vibe to it. That poster, even though the view of it is very similar, it still has a metal vibe. Where this one has a very X-Files, New Age, clean vibe to it, which the whole movie did.
Yeah, it was
consistent. Okay. So
okay. So, spoiler alert, go watch this film, I would say, and let's talk about it.
Yeah, it's Hulu. Like, it can't get more accessible than, something dropping on Hulu. I like that.
It's funny, though, like, Hulu's real bad at advertising their own shit. Like, am I the only one who's
they really are.
Like, you don't know
even King and stuff, where they were talking about like Stephen King and some other directors, when I was reading through some stuff, they didn't even know it was coming up. They were like, they just like turned this on and it was there.
Yeah, they don't advertise it. Like, it's that thing where it's like, I feel like Hulu just relies on it being Hulu, right? And like, if it hadn't been like YouTubers like 3C Films, who I really like, talking about it, I wouldn't know that. I mean, like, I didn't bring it up, and Josh chose it last week, right? But it's not a movie.
You know how it became on my radar? I was on YouTube, and there was like a thing. You know those videos where they like smash all the next upcoming movies trailers into one thing? I was like, whatever, and I just put it on my TV.
I hate those. I hate those.
I was just filling time because I was only half paying attention. I was on my phone, and it's just like background shit. Yeah. But if something like this, boom, it wasn't on my radar, then it was completely on my radar because I chose to do that. They're stupid cut or smash cuts, but it was it was something that I was like, holy shit, what is this? Like, this looks fucking cool. And it wasn't as cool as the trailer made it look like, but it was there was some cool parts to it for sure.
Yeah. I mean, let's say, like, I feel like this movie, like, looks way higher budget than it is. I think the aliens, like, for being completely CG, they looked way better than I thought they were going to.
I love visual storytelling. Like, it's something that I personally do because I'm not a strong writer. Like, everything I do is visual just because that's what I do. Like, that's what I do for a living. That's how my brain works. I'd rather tell the story visually and cut out as much dialogue as possible. I've never seen a movie done so well that literally only has like 8 words or something said in it the entire time. So
Are
like
there that many words in it? Like, most of them
I found
are
a
like,
script earlier, and it was very. Hold on, you go ahead. I'll find the script again.
As I say, most of the stuff was like mumbles or like under, like, if you don't have subtitles on, you might not think there are any words spoken. Like, there's not
like,
anything that's.
they don't even they don't spoon feed you the story either. Like, if you have to be like paying attention. It's there. It's not like not apparent that they're, like, it would never say that on a gravestone, but it's telling us, the audience, exactly who it is because she's sitting right next to it. And, yeah.
I mean, the gravestone and then the letters, like, she's writing letters and you kind of start getting pieces of information. Like, at the first instance, you see her, she finds the sheriff and his wife, and she like ducks down. And you're like, oh, something, like she's avoiding them. And then you see the letter. She's like, hey, dear Maud, I saw your parents today. And you kind of sort of, oh, okay. And I can't believe it's been 10 years. Like, oh, so what's happening? And you get these little bits and pieces. And then you, like, later on when she runs into town, like after her, like, run-in with the alien, and like she walks into the police station and it's the sheriff and his wife, and the wife just spits on her face. She lets out a good loogie on that lady's face. And you're just like, oh, and you're just like, this girl, this woman is not, this town is not a big fan of this woman, and you're just like, I wonder why. And they kind of like give you little pieces of information up until like pretty close to the end of the film, where you go, oh, that's what happened. Oh, diddly dokey. I would have figured this girl was in jail still at this point for what she did, but like, I mean, it has to do these storytelling like this because this movie, while it's an alien invasion, like home invasion film, it's also a very like, it's a dealing with like grief and anxiety and like how you do all these things, right? It's I feel like this movie was right up your alley.
That's where I was about to go. So I'm going to totally jump in because I can't find it. I saw a script earlier. There's only like there's like a few words, and she did lose her voice shooting this, which is wild. But I was looking through something, and just from all of the like sounds and stuff she was making, the screaming. But I was looking through something, and one of the things that somebody mentioned is the double meaning for the title of the movie. And I believe it was the director or the writer, one of the two. It was probably the writer, but anyway,
it was both.
It was the director,
and writer, he did both.
They were talking about the title, and they were like, because like a surface level, and I'm really bad about with movies being very surface level at the start. I don't typically dive very deep. It takes me either a second round through or like really listening to other inputs, which is fine. I've come to terms with that. Yeah. But the title being "No One Will Save You." Yeah. So she's in the middle of nowhere, right? She's got nobody around her. She has no way to contact anyone. So nobody's going to save her. But what it boils down to also, there's like a few different things that you can take with it, is no one's going to save you from yourself. She's boxed herself in. She's made herself feel that she's a burden on society, that she's a menace, that nobody's going to want her around. She killed her friend when she was little. Like, she's made a huge mistake, and no one obviously wants her around. And the parents do, point out that she's awful in their eyes, and she doesn't have anywhere else to go. And the movie does a really good job of explaining, like, yeah, this sucks, but you've got to find a way to save yourself. And so part of the thing being that, the aliens were able to see what she was dealing with. And while they probably didn't like emotionally relate to her, I mean, well, we can't really say because whatever. Maybe in some way there's like this twinge of hope that they're like, oh, well, she's really trying to fix herself and like figure out and make things better. And it does a really great, for saying nothing, it does a great commentary on cancel culture in general. Because you do have this individual who made a horrible mistake as a child, as a young adult, who's just trying to get through life, and she'll never be able to get over that. And like, it's bad enough, nowadays, because kids are growing up where, they post something on the internet. Even we could post something on the internet 10 years down the line, 15, 20 years down the line. Somebody's digging it up and being like, this you? And, it can cancel you, right? Which most people are familiar with. I do have to also remember sometimes that we do have people that listen to the podcast that aren't as in deep as we are when it comes to that kind of stuff. So it's just kind of a quick reminder. But yeah, so it was really interesting to see. I will say one of the things, though, about the movie that was very frustrating to me at times, and I can see why it was, but in my mind, and this isn't actually even the movie, it was just a character thing. I was like, why would you not just sell your house and move? Just sell the house and move. Get out of this town. But I can see why you wouldn't. But that was like one of those thoughts. Overall, it was really good. I did really like the fact that it was primarily just sounds. The sound quality was great. I did get kind of squirrely and ADHD and have to peace out halfway through and came back. But that wasn't the movie's fault. That was all me. So.
Yeah, I think
I did the same by accident. It was like because Diana wasn't feeling well, so I went to the store to get her some meds and stuff and came back super early on in the movie. But I feel like it made me enjoy it more coming back and having that like. And I normally just hate movies after I do that to movies. I'm glad I still like really enjoyed this movie after doing that.
Dude, mine was in the part with the forest, or like she's like fighting the aliens in the forest. I kind of like was sitting on the couch trying to get comfortable, and I got a little too comfortable.
That's where I zoned.
And I dozed off for a second. Like I fell asleep, and I'm like, oh, I gotta sit up better. And I was like, why is she? Why? I honestly, so whenever that other version of her
wake up
was there, I was like, why? Like, I thought it was her friend as an adult, like raised up, and like the aliens were. I was just like, what the fuck? And I was just confused for a second, and then I had to rewind it, and I got everything. But I want to tell you guys something because I think this is funny because I 3C Films was talking about this on YouTube. The director and writer wanted this character to have a happy ending, so he thought the ending of this movie was a happy ending for this character.
Where they take over the whole world for almost no reason. I don't know, like dominance. Well, that's what Ken and I were talking about when you were taking a piss. I was like, is that like it? Like they just wanted to dominate the whole world to be a puppet master?
And they take over everyone else in this little town besides her. And it's like the thing
it looked like they were more than just the little town. Like,
but my thought was, though, did they really not take her over? Like, did they not maybe potentially have her in? For those of you that have played Fallout 3, I think it is Fallout 3 or New Vegas. I hate that I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, there's a scene there's a segment where you go into one of the particular vaults where they're in pods and they're living in like this altered reality, this virtual reality. Yeah. So, but they're all stuck in someone else's game, in someone else's mind, and someone else's desire that they're trying to do. So, like, could the aliens just be like, for each person, kind of giving them what they want, and that's just what she wants? Or are they all in her game?
I don't know. It's very like they leave a lot of that open, it seems like, to interpretation towards the end of it. Like, because it's like, you sit there at the very end and she's like just dancing with the guy who like basically...
She looked pretty stoked, but we saw her take the thing out of her throat. So
yeah.
I assumed she wasn't taken over, and she's just like, you know what? People are actually being nice to me now. This is sweet. I can enjoy this new life.
You know the guy that she liked? You know who it reminded me, Josh? It reminded you of the guy from Possessor, the guy that was like the target for the film or whatever, or that she took over during that. That's who it reminded me of. Like, I'm like, but it's like a more nerdy version of him. Like, not the main character, but the guy that was like fucking shit up at the very end of the movie. That she took. I think she took him over, right? I think, but I don't remember. I will say, like, I think that, like, there was a lot of interesting choices in this movie, and it kind of reminded me of Alien Isolation in a way, because Alien Isolation was just obviously an alien game, but you go in and you think there's going to be one alien, and then she plows one of her doll toys into that thing's head, which was pretty metal by the way, and you're like,
It was
oh,
awesome.
okay. But it's like less than a half an hour in, she's like taking out one of these aliens, and I'm like,
That little like smaller one was kind of annoying in comparison to the rest of them. Like, I didn't like him, didn't like his look. That whole sequence was just a little annoying. But yeah.
His face was like weirdly CG-y compared to the other ones. Like, his face was like, it looked like stuttery, kind of like, I don't know what the hell it was. And I love though what they did with the beam, the light having like like the impact like that, like crushing
that
half
was
of
done,
the thing. That was sweet.
Apparently, a lot of that lighting was done specifically with just a crane and like some inexpensive lights.
I love
That's
it.
pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, this movie, like, it probably had like a $30 million budget or something like that. It wasn't like a huge budget for something like, I don't even know if it was $30 million. I don't know. I don't know what Hulu spends on things.
22.8.
Yes, yeah, I was guessing. It was
22.8 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
You have to think about it. Like, they spent like 60 on Prey, I think, if I recall, when we talked about that last year.
Yeah, but that is part of a bigger universe. And
what I'm saying, it wasn't that. It was that Hulu's doing these things on a smaller budget regardless.
But Hulu's owned by Disney, is it not?
It is, but that's
why,
owned by
like,
Disney.
This is the thing that we said with Prey too. Like, while Prey broke a shit ton of records, so it can't really be. We can't put that in the same category. But they still don't know what to do with, PG-13 and R-rated things that they own. Like, Hulu is the place that they're like, oh yeah, we'll just throw it over there, and that's legitimately what they're doing. With everyone saying that. What, they just turn this on? Yeah, they're like, we don't know what to do. Just put it over on Hulu, like, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, they're merging them, right, at some point in the near future, and so it's
they're
just
losing
like,
so much fucking money. It's insane.
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, you talk about it, like, Kin had one of her like mods is like in the Middle East somewhere, and he's talking about how like Disney Plus has weird shit on it there, and like doesn't have other stuff.
It had
and it's
like
just,
Always Sunny in Philadelphia and like months ago, like, or last year, and I was like on Disney Plus. He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "What the fuck?"
mean, but
that
now
show
we
is
have
amazing.
Yeah,
now we have.
Have you watched Wrexham? Welcome to Wrexham.
Oh yeah, I'm on season 2. I've only watched 2 episodes or something, maybe 3.
Yeah, I'm caught up on the first season or the second season. I haven't watched any of the first season.
I mean,
first season was really fucking good.
I don't know what that is. Disney has like
it's a documentary series.
Oh, that one. Okay, yeah.
You still don't know his name.
Well, I mean, he will always be the guy who made the exercise bike
and
with
the
a
guy
dildo.
from It's Always Sunny.
Yeah,
the guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, whatever.
It's
Rod or that guy.
It's the guy who made the dildo operated
Rob
exercise bike.
McElhenney.
Yeah.
Dude, he is fucking shredded.
And he did it as like a meme too, and then he got fat again, and then he got shredded again. Like,
I'm like,
he is a superhero. He could be for sure. He's so shredded.
The problem with that show, I have to be in a very very specific state of mind to be in that show, because like they're all such horrible people. I'm like, I can't do this right now.
Oh, Always Sunny, yeah, fair.
Yeah. I think they had got a contract for like another 4+ years for that show too, because it's so cheap to make, and they can just continue as long as they want, because they set it up like a Simpsons style where nothing
ever changes.
Yeah.
Well, they were gonna cancel it, and then like they were like, unless you take Danny DeVito on, and they're like, we don't want him. I don't think they wanted him. And then Danny DeVito is like one of the best characters on that show.
100%.
It's just
It makes it so
that-
you can do anything.
yeah, one of my favorite shows, like things on that show ever, was like when he's like crawling out of the couch and he looks like a baby being born.
Yeah.
And then Rum Ham will always be classic because
I haven't.
man,
I guess I only have 2 episodes I haven't watched this season. Oh yeah,
I haven't watched the season yet.
the one with Bryan Cranston was pretty good this year.
I
season.
need to watch that one. I saw someone talking about this No One Will Save You. Also, the name is it's one of those movies where the name is out of control. Like
It's so
too
metal.
many-
It's so fucking metal.
I know, but it's too many words, right? Like it's
No
too
way. I
many
love it. It sounds like a really fucking good song.
maybe.
And in the end, no one's gonna save you.
Oh, I wasn't
I feel
thinking
like-
like that. I was
no,
thinking more like
no. I was gonna say he's more thinking of like a black metal song where you like,
one will save you.
yeah, that's what I
and
was.
it's
That's
just
fair
like
too.
then
That's
it's just
fair, too.
metal and guitars and
Go.
nothing understandable.
Go.
Blah. It would have a blah in it for sure. It would have a blah. And Josh is now gone full.
We've
like,
lost
good-
Josh.
But you always play this high up because it's so metal to play this high up.
Dude, I have seen enough guitarists that shows like they go running around in like sleeveless hoodies, as I mentioned last week. I'm like, why are you guys doing this?
So
I don't
are you
understand.
saying that I should put the metal band logo design on sleeveless hoodies?
Yes, you should.
I don't even know if they
And I-
sell that shit. The distributor that I went through, they don't have a lot to choose from. So I think I can like do more than one maybe and
Yeah.
find other places that offer better selection.
Yeah, if you don't know, we have our Murder Moose gear now, and I tried to buy stuff today, and there were issues with. I'm like,
Yeah.
God damn it.
Well,
Yeah,
you can reorder just the 2 items, or if you
Yeah.
want the black tank, I'll make it with the other logo too, because there
Okay.
is a metal band logo tank top for sale right now. I just put it
Nice.
live.
Very nice. Man, I'd say this. I wonder how much I was. As we're talking about this, I was really kind of wondering how much stuff this Bryn, also a weird name, Bryn has been in. And
She did so well with it. I mean, let's
yeah,
be totally honest. She kicked ass.
she's been in a lot. She was in. She was the voice of Cassie in Uncharted 4. If you don't know Uncharted 4, Cassie is the daughter of the main character. She's been in a lot, man. She's been doing stuff
What?
for this to the. Yeah. Shut up, Josh.
It's in the game.
It's in the game.
It's the game.
Uncharted 4.
Yeah, she was really
She's
good
in the
this,
game.
though.
Uncharted
She's
4.
she's in the game of Uncharted 4. Dude, I had to. Okay, there was
Should I start
one
wearing
sequ-
this? It's so gay.
Yes, you should. There was one sequence in this movie I kind of felt like didn't belong, and that was the mailman delivering her package and it was like turning into Ace Ventura. I'm like, what is this motherfucker doing?
I
was-
think the like benefit of that was just showing like just how detached she was from everybody.
Yeah, but he was like throwing shit, like the opening sequence of Ace Ventura, where he's got the package and he's just like shoving it in, like kicking it and like fucking it up the whole time, and that's all I could think of when he's like shooting a basket with her package. Also, was she okay? I wasn't
Huh?
completely sure. What was she selling? It seemed like her whole living was it dresses on that scene?
Dresses.
But, okay. I wasn't sure if she was selling dollhouse shit or whatnot. Like,
Yeah,
but,
what? Like that? Was she? What the fuck was that? Like they didn't really go in.
Dresses.
No. I'm talking about the like big scene that gets
Oh,
just destroyed.
That was just her way of like, I think that was a couple different things. So one, I think that was her way of trying to relate and reach out to the community. The other, from what I've gathered, is that it was something that was just her pastime that she just did as a hobby. And I mean, like if you're by yourself and you're alone and you've got nothing else going on, you got to have something to do.
It reminded me
called
of
diddly diddly do.
if you've ever watched the show
It's a lot
Raising
of
Hope,
diddling.
a lot of diddling.
Yeah.
We always have a lot of diddling, Ken. The show Raising Hope, there's a character named Frank who's a weirdo, and so he has like he has a whole like he's created their whole little town and like with little miniatures like that kind of, and that's what it was reminding me of because he's a weirdo like she is, and it's just like, oh, okay. It's like they're like they don't interact with the world, so they did this little thing that's how they get out to, you know, interact. So I thought that was interesting. So I thought the mailman was weird, and I wonder if they did that because so you wouldn't feel as bad when he gets like his fucking back broken by the fucking beam, which was also very metal. That was like the most extreme thing in this whole movie, where he gets knocked into it and his back just goes ka-chunk, and like it's like he'd been like
metal.
broken in half. Yeah, it was very metal.
It was
very
a metal man.
He was a very metal man.
It was a metal man.
So I have to wonder, and did either one of you two wonder this? Did the aliens just shapeshift? Because when she's in that scene
There's
where they
more than one,
you know,
like,
but
race of alien.
I know, but at the scene where they had them all, like around her body, right? They were all exactly the same. They were all
yeah.
like,
It was. That's what I
same
said.
height,
The
the
copy
same-
paste, fucking,
Yeah.
and they all like turn. I was like, that animation was so copy paste. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Like you could do a little bit better job than that guy.
I at one point when I was watching it, I was like, "Damn it, Roger!" Like, you know, Roger from American Dad, the one who lives in their attic. I was like, "Damn it, Roger!" But yeah, I was wondering that. I was wondering if they were just shapeshifting, because the one with the arms looked like very much shapeshifty. And I will say another thing. What was creepy? Their little fucking finger toes. They're like
I thought that was creepy, but I liked it.
yeah, I liked
thought it was
too, but-
comical, but I still liked it. So we all
You thought it was
had different feelings.
Yeah.
I thought it was very
Yeah.
comical.
We
I was
all
like,
had feelings.
it was like Men in Black. It felt like Men in Black, kind of like PG kids movie vibes, and I was like, I guess I like that. I guess I don't know.
I really was impressed with the CG in this movie. Like, for a $23 million movie, like the aliens were mostly like pretty believable. Like I said, besides the little one was the wonkiest one, where she goes all Michael Myers on him and like stabs him in the fucking. Why didn't she kill that thing, man? She fucking only hit him once. I mean, she hit him once with the door and like knocked him unconscious, but like
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
it was very
don't
like
know.
I also. I want to say I'm kind of confused that this didn't come up at the beginning. None of us saw X, even though like everyone's like, this is the best Saw movie ever.
Oh, is it out?
It came out last Friday. Yeah,
I'm not excited.
I
to
give
see
zero fucks about Saw.
everyone like I literally had people saying that it was like the best Saw movie in the franchise, and then a lot of people were like, it's the second or third. But I'm like, okay, because I was saying last week I didn't give a fuck, but it seemed like it went over very well.
I don't know. Like, you know, yes, it's been kind of a while since we've seen a on purpose torture porn movie, but I was never overly a fan of that subgenre of
Yeah,
I was gonna say metal of horror, anyways.
yeah.
So I'm not like, oh, I gotta run to the theater, and I think it's because I was just duped by the last one, because I was like, oh, this trailer makes it look like it's probably gonna be a good one, and then I was so duped. I was like, it was a bad episode of CSI that you knew the ending 2 minutes into the movie, and fuck, that was terrible.
What was so fucking like enraging about that film, as we go off on a tangent again, is that they sold it like it was going to be this completely new thing in the world, and it was just exactly the same fucking movie, just with a different like person. It was like just like, it's the same fucking movie. There's traps that you have to get out of, blah blah blah. And I'm just
But
like, fuck.
the fact that they're doing it because, like, when a franchise goes past a certain point and is just like meh for so long, then they're like, you know what? All those other ones that we did produce over the last 10 years don't matter, because you don't like them. They don't exist anymore. We're going to start here now. Fuck off. Like, that's how I feel about this movie.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, they started in the mid, like after number one. So like, yeah. I have to say that though, that like, that this movie, what did impress me, like with the budget and what they did with the money, it impressed me, the acting.
Yeah.
I think that it might have gotten a little too the the problem with a film like this, when you're not explaining things through dialogue or you don't have any dialogue and it's all visual, that when you get a little convoluted like this movie does in the middle act or the third act, you risk losing people, and I'm wondering how many people will get lost watching this movie, especially at the end where like it starts going kind of bonkers, you know, and not.
I feel like it could have been more metal, but then it wouldn't be so PG-13. Like I feel like they tread that line very nice and didn't go over, and it has this very nice package that almost ends like an episode of Goosebumps at the end or something, you know.
It's very X-Files, like you said, like especially the ending is where it's like this weird, like alternative reality. Oh, I want to talk about something else that I thought was cool in this movie. When she fucking kills that alien and the drool's just like coming out of his mouth, I was like, that looks pretty cool. Like that was a good little effect. I also liked the alien dying. It was just standing there going. I would say the sounds in this movie, I really liked. The sound design, I thought was really, really good. You have nothing, Ken.
Speaking of sounds,
Ken, we have to tell you something.
Yes,
you don't have to apologize.
You are part of this show. Make some noise. Make some noise with your mouth, and then put it into the mic. Like speaking stuff.
Oh, not just noises.
You can make noises if you want to. Yeah.
Ooh.
I think that stuff might do better on Twitter. I don't know.
Maybe.
Ken, do you find any cool facts going into your like deep dives as you always do with this film?
I mean, for me, the number one cool fact was just that she lost her voice. Like I said, I didn't get to dive as deep as I normally do, but I thought that was really interesting.
That's
and it totally makes sense. It totally makes sense because, like, she's making a lot of noise. But when you first think about it, you're like, but why? Why would that? But it makes sense.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
It's very, like, again, Josh and I were talking about Mad God earlier, like, which was the before Kin days. And, like...
Was it? Just before, right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was right before Kin started. And Mad God had no dialogue, and I couldn't follow it because it was way more abstract.
Because it was all, claymation, but it took him like fucking 30 years to make it, so it didn't stay cohesive whatsoever. It was just like a bunch. He did it in his basement over literally, like, I think it was 30 years or something ridiculous. So
that's wild.
Yeah, so it was just like an amalgamation of just like the most metal fucking claymation shit you've ever seen that makes no fucking sense. And it was just like, it was like a journey to hell and then coming back.
Oh, I was going to say, it just reminded me, talking Mad God. I saw a tweet going around the other day, and it was like, what's the most boring movie you've ever seen? And I quoted it was Skinamarink, and Freddie from Night Lights was like, "Thank you." That movie was not. I'm like, yeah, fuck that movie.
Thank goodness.
Yeah,
like every time I bring it up, I'm like, well, my least favorite horror movie I've seen recently is Skinamarink. Please don't hate me for it.
Yeah.
You know where I stand on it, only because it's close to home, met the people, now friends with them on Facebook somehow as well. It's just not one of those things that has anything to kind of grasp on for us. And I can be very political in my responses to that when I'm over here now.
I can say that I understand why people love it. I can appreciate the fact that it's art. I can appreciate the entertainment value. I will say that, again, my friend who's very, very big into into horror movies and podcasts and has award-winning podcasts and stuff now.
How do you win awards for this?
Also hated it. I'll have to. We'll go over it later. But he also hated it, and he was like, I made it 30 minutes and about turned it off, and then it did something, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll keep trying, and then made it 30 minutes and could not do it. And he was like, yeah, no, I I couldn't do it. And the thing is, again, I can appreciate and respect the art. I can still hate it.
Yep. It's the most anti-ADHD movie I've ever seen.
It truly is.
And it, yeah, it's that funny. It's like, it's funny talking about that because it transitions when we're like sitting here talking about this movie into Mad God, because they both have like no dialogue basically. And then Mad God has that like kind of contextual, like, it bored me.
I like Mad Dog better. Mad Dog.
Mad Dog 2020. Mad Dog 2020. But yeah. So I don't know, man. It's just all chaos. It's all chaos. I really do think this is a great intro to people interested in horror who want to get their kids into horror, like I said, though. And we invited KPP to come talk about this, but she's always busy, which was a giant shock. And she had really dug it, too. And she had already watched it, like, oddly.
It was a lot more tame than, like I said, like I anticipated it was going to be. And I was weirdly still not disappointed by it. So there's something to be said there, because like it is set up for me thinking this was going to be an intense fucking ride and like really like do some of the things that Boogeyman did very well to Rod and I, and like caught me off guard a few times with just how like visceral the like stuff was happening in the movie. It was happening so fast and so violently that it caught me off guard and was like, whoa, shit, that was dope. Yeah. I thought this was going to do the same sort of thing, and it didn't. So
it was more of a psychological thing for most of it, right? Because we're talking about like the anxiety and all the things. I was also thinking while we're talking about that, I really liked their powers in this film, the aliens' powers. Like they can do like, they fuck with electricity. They do like, they go full Magneto at points. I still think one of the cool shots in the movie is when she's running towards the door and the door just explodes in on her.
Yes,
and just, like,
that was really well done. Yeah.
I really liked the red light scenes, like where she gets put on the ceiling. I thought that was pretty fucking dope.
That was really cool. And it was very intense because like right at those moments too, I would like, I was watching it and like I kind of held my breath with her at times. So I was like,
being paralyzed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
they did that in a different movie. Like I know where Conjuring 2 had some sort of ceiling whatever scene, but there was a movie where they were like paralyzed like that. Fuck, what movie was that?
Anytime there's anything ever on the ceiling, I immediately think of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Just because that opening sequence is so intense. And even though she's not pinned to the ceiling, she's being thrown around on the ceiling.
Yep. Oh, what a feeling when you're dancing on the ceiling. Ooh, oh, what a feeling. Oh, did you see, this is a side point, that A24 is bidding on making a Halloween television show? And so I saw people like going off about Michael Myers versus Jason Voorhees because the A24 is already doing the Crystal Lake show. So I'm like, it's not fair though, because it's like Michael Myers is like a normal man. Jason Voorhees is a zombie. So I don't know.
Just
is there anything else?
More Freddy versus Jason. That's all we need. Just another one.
Can they do a new Freddy versus Jason and just make the human characters tolerable? Because God, the human characters in that movie are some of the worst human characters ever.
The lead girl is super cute in that movie, though.
But she's annoying and stupid, like the rest of the characters. Like they're just poorly written. Even Destiny's Child girl is pretty terrible in that film. I like the fights though; they're pretty dope.
That
Josh,
movie was just fun.
It is fun, dude. But man, have you watched that movie lately? The CG in that movie does not hold up.
I haven't watched
it
lately, but I have rewatched it several times, and it's just the takeaway every time. Fuck, that was fun. That was just fun.
The weed, the pothead with
the pothead is
like,
awesome.
Magic. But the caterpillar is so bad.
That's
the
terrible.
CG is so
I
terrible.
do remember that, and I'm just like, oh no, fuck.
Or when Kelly gets her nose pulled off by Freddy. That was pretty terrible looking. There's some pretty bad CG in that
But
movie.
Jason X is terrible, but I rewatched it. When the fuck did I? Well, when I made the poster, I was rewatching it, and I'm just like, fuck, I forgot how funny and just amazing. This
Okay,
movie is.
you wanted to do a new Friday the 13th. We're in October, the spoopy month. Do you want to do a Halloween or a Friday the 13th movie next week there, Josh?
Yeah, we do. We have to.
Which one?
Honestly, I would love to. Well, I don't know. I just did Jason X. I would love to do the remake. That is my. Honestly, I love that movie.
I don't know. I want to go original series,
Okay.
but we don't have to. I don't know. I still think the best overall Jason movie. God, we could do the remake. Fine, we'll do the remake. Yeah.
It has all the best fucking kills, like stacked. I love that cold opener. It's so fucking good.
Talking about stupid characters, the beginning characters are pretty terrible in that movie too.
Yeah, but they all get fucked. Like I still remember seeing it in theaters and going, holy shit, this kill count is insane. How are they gonna boom title? And it's just new characters. I was like, yeah, fuck.
Dude, I will never forget. So the guy who's like, your tits are stupendous,
The best scene in the movie. Come on.
was in
Come
the
on, boobies.
Arnold. Well, he was in the Arnold Schwarzenegger Netflix show.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was one of the CIA agents in it, and I'm like,
It's the
I haven't
booby
seen
guy.
yeah, it's the booby guy. Okay, we'll do Friday the 13th. Was it 2009? I think it was when that one came out. Let's see.
2009. You are correct.
Fucking yeah. Giggity. I don't know how the things that stay in my head do, like random movies like Friday the 13th, the remake, but here we are. Okay. We will do. You cool
See,
with
when
Friday
I
the
saw
13th?
that movie, I remember my theater experience. It was completely sold out. Like, sold out, and we had to sit close because we got there too late. Like, that shit doesn't happen anymore.
Yep. That was my opening night for Paranormal Activity at midnight.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
Oh God.
Dude, that's why that movie horrified me, man.
I saw
Yeah.
that late too, and that movie fucked with my head as well. And it was a completely packed theater, but that was the guerrilla marketing for that was fantastic. But it's also it's just the times.
That movie and Blair Witch Project, both in the theater with the theater full, it was like
Oh, yeah.
why horror in theaters is as good as it is because you get a whole crowd of people reacting, and it's just like, ah. Okay, so Friday the 13th for 2009 next week. And think about other things we want to do the rest of October, you two. Do you guys want to do, Kin's talked about it, I like the idea of doing a spin-off episode where Kin does cryptid stuff, so that might be fun. I would love to do it. I send Kin cryptid shit on Instagram all the time, and I don't know if
What's
you ever
that?
see it, Kin, but
Instagram or cryptid shit?
cryptid, like Bigfoot?
Yeah, like Bigfoot, Mothman,
Skinwalkers. I love skinwalkers,
uh,
man. They're the ones that terrify me, man. I had my first
Flatwoods
ever,
monsters, the Greys,
yeah.
even though they're more aliens.
No, we get put
But-
into her like deep, like unread stuff on Instagram.
Oh, I know. She's like, why would I ever watch anything from these numbnuts? I have to hang out with them enough, and I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. Okay. Jason X. Not Jason X. Jason. Friday the 13th, 2009 next week. And we'll do something. I'm down with doing a cryptid spin-off episode again. So
Hell yeah.
yeah. Okay, everybody. We will catch you guys next week. Oh, let's do our plugs. Fuck. Murdermoose.com.
Buy
Go
merch.
buy merch. Buy merch. Yes. Murdermoose.com.
New tanks.
Kintinue.com. Go to Kintinue.com and find
Oh, wait.
Kintinue because she tweets and shit like that and streams and does all these
Yeah.
things.
Yours
that was
didn't
just
come,
fucking-
but mine came.
Nice.
My accidental
and-
order.
My Rod_Johnston. Oh, Josh, do you want to give away the one of those things?
It's already claimed.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Someone
Okay,
claimed
well,
it.
Okay, cool. I mean, it works. Yes, and Rod_Johnston on Twitter and Twitch and all those places. So find me too. So Catch you motherfuckers next week for Friday the 13th, and we love you, and have a good one. Take it easy, and
Bye.
It's in the game.